Welcome once again as we reflect on the Gospel of the day, the Gospel of St. Matthew. As Jesus passed by, two blind men followed him, crying out, "Son of David, have pity on us." When he entered the house, the blind man approached him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I can do this?" "Yes, Lord," they said. Then he touched their eyes and said, "Let it be done for you according to your faith." And their eyes were opened. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread the word of him through all the land. The Gospel of the Lord. This very touching scene where two men, presumably blind for their life, I imagine, heard that Jesus was passing, and they must have had something or knew something of him, but not very much. They just knew that he could do something to help them. And so they ask, and Jesus says, "Do you believe I can do it?" In other words, do you have faith? Are you open to me, to my power, to my presence, to my love? And they were. So before anything happened, they were people of faith. And that's the key, I think. It didn't go the other way around. And then he says, as he so often does, don't tell anybody what just happened, because they'll focus on that as my ministry, as my message. Miracles, signs, little razzle-dazzle, so to speak. And he didn't want that. And of course, the two men, faith-filled and grateful, ignored him and went out and told everybody they could meet, as any of us would. What came to my mind as I read this gospel was that in 1989, I think it was, I was invited to go to Medjugorje. I knew nothing about Medjugorje except an article I had read. And so we went, a small group of us, me totally ignorant of except the bare essentials of what was happening, that the Blessed Mother was appearing to young children in a village that was isolated. And when we arrived, there we were, in the midst of I don't even know where, being a world traveler, confused, in a rural setting, thousands of people there already. And I heard one night as we were standing that people were looking up. And I was wondering, it was late afternoon, I should say, and people were looking up, and I, of course, like a New Yorker, I started to look up, figuring something must be happening. And I saw nothing. And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "Well, we're looking to see if the sun moves." That's one of the rumors of Medjugorje, that the sun moves. And the other one was that your rosary might turn to gold. So my initial reaction was to look up, and then I checked my rosary, figured, why not? Well, that didn't happen. What did happen, the miracle of my experience at Medjugorje, was that on Wednesday of our stay, the peoples had a custom of walking up this hill, and on top of which they had erected a cross. And it was just a matter of their faith. People from all parts of mostly Europe, I imagine, expressing their faith. And then it was a communist country at the time, Yugoslavia, and there were no religious experiences allowed outdoors, no processions. And what happened was that priests, like me, most of them from English-speaking countries, would pick up a sign that was left in the church indicating your language that you understood. And you brought a chair out to the side yard, just stuck it up there, and I did what everybody was doing. And instantly lines formed to go to confession. An extraordinary act of faith. I was dressed in traveling clothes. They presumed I was a priest because I had a sign. But that's all. But every day, put the chair up, put the sign up, sit down, instant lines, people with faith. When I came home to the parish, all anyone kept asking me was, what spectacular teaching, what different expressions did Mary give you? And then, did you see the sun move? Or anybody's rosary turn to gold? I could not communicate the miracle of my experience because it was too ordinary. I guess you had to be there, so to speak. But it taught me not to project onto God. It tries to challenge me to slow down and let God come to me often enough in the most ordinary of ways. Not in the sun moving, not in rosaries turning gold, but in people walking up a hill because they believe, people coming to confession because they believe, giving witness, to me at least, what an extraordinary sign of God's presence. I think that's a long time ago now, but it's a moment that helped me to see God. Did Mary appear, and is she still appearing in Medjugorje? I personally think yes, but it doesn't matter. What is she saying? Nothing new. One comment from one of the children I heard expressed, an 18-year-old girl, Maria, I believe, said to a group that gathered outside her home, not during an apparition or anything, just conversation. She just said, Mary says to her that if we only understood and knew how much God loves us, it would make all the difference in the world. That's the message of Medjugorje. The miracle of Medjugorje is the faith of the people who go there. But we keep looking for signs. It can distract us from God's presence in our life. For his presence is one of love, compassion, acceptance, and always healing forgiveness. I hope you have a safe day and that you continue to pray for one another. God bless.